Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, how are you doing?
I forgot to turn the video off. I'm basically laying down, but I'm happy to overhear today's call.
Yeah, no worries. You take care of you. Hey,
Yeah.
Sal. Hey, ladies. How are you doing, love?
Doing awesome. How are you ladies doing?
Look great. Gorgeous.
Good.
Thank you.
Good, good, good. Well, it is 6 p.m., so I'm going to jump right in and allow others to join as they tend to do. Hello, beautiful ladies. This is our now 4th week of the Total Female Package Book Club. Super excited about that. And the topic today of Mirror 4 is connecting to your spiritual reflection. Although I do want to kind of recap a little bit on our last week, because our last week we dove into really what the power of gratitude and reflecting gratitude in your life could do for you. And we all walked away with action items around either finding an object that you could carry around an anchor as a symbol of gratitude in your life whenever you touch it in your pocket or in your purse or in your book bag, and or starting to write the things in the morning and the evening that you're grateful for. So I have curiosity, and I know Miss Shiloh is just joining us after a beautiful time she spent in Oregon with a bunch of amazing people. So you weren't on this last call, but Val, do you have anything that in the last week came to you as the form of like a symbol or something you anchored or?
Well, I carry a few things around with me. And so as I just like look at my purse, I have some little trinkets, but in my book bag, I actually have I have this little rock that my grandfather gave me.
Aww.
My grandfather is kind of like an earthy man. His way of showing love is giving me rocks.
Yeah.
And so
beautiful rock, by the way.
It's a gorgeous rock that he finds them and he polishes them, he cuts them. So it's like it's a reflection of also like his care and love, so that's and he gave this to me probably about 4 years ago when I was leaving Oregon. And he just said, kind of like this is his protection. I don't want to say protection, but this is kind of like the good luck rock. Like this rock, whenever you just want to think of home, or you want to think you're safe, or you want to think you're grounded. He doesn't use those words, but kind of,
right.
like here, keep this in your pocket or keep this with you. And I keep it in my work bag. And so whenever I'm digging around for something, I'll come across it and I'll just hold it in my hand and like just give thanks for where I'm at in my life.
Totally.
And so.
And how does that make you feel inside?
Oh, warm and gushy. Like as I'm just even explaining this, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it's to express it and to share it really, because I've, it's kind of been my own little thing.
Right.
And to actually share it into the world, like, it gives me more gratitude. Like my heart's fluttering right now, like gratitude.
Totally. And so for those of you who might be watching this at some point in the near future, when we're talking about rising the total female package within you, Mirror 3 was such a powerful way to understand how gratitude actually serves you in a way of putting yourself on that high vibration, because when you're feeling gratitude, you feel automatically, naturally, the tonality of love and joy and bliss. And when you're feeling that, there really is no other path to be on. There's, for some, the path of fear and the path of love. And when you are focused on the things that you're grateful for, even those relationships that sometimes feel challenging, whether it's a boss, a coworker, a partner, a family member, a close friend, when you start to redirect your energy around the challenges and focus on the things you're grateful for, you start to see like a lot of amazing other experiences show up for you. And that was the big key. So with Val being able to focus all this energy in a symbol of this love exchange between her and her grandfather, whenever she hits that piece of memory in her bag or purse, she looks at it, like that takes up her whole alignment. in the moment, which then keeps the other things that she feels good about in her life coming to her. That's really a science. Gratitude is really a science. So awesome. Thank you for that. I got a chance to do this last call from the Vancouver Islands experience. And so the gratitude that I felt there actually seeps into this mirror 4 around really being able to be connected to your spiritual reflection. And so the journey of rising the TFP within you has been unfolding now for the last several weeks around really tapping into your authentic self, and then looking at what your passions are, learning how the key ingredient of gratitude and that actionary behavioral experience for yourself and how that can, really shift dynamically things in your life. So then looking at how do I can connect with my spiritual self, my higher self. I was reading this book last week, and I love absorbing other books and new books and books I'm called to. Doreen Virtue and the 10 messages that your angels want you to learn about and hear. And in that book, she did a really great job at dissecting these 4 bodies that we each have access to, which is our physical body and our emotional body, our intellectual body, and our energetic body. And so mirror 4 is around that energetic body, that higher self, that knowing, that intuitive place, that personality that you are on your own within this body, physical body, that's actually the most powerful place for you to be in alignment, because it's your true self, your true essence. And when you get to connect to your spiritual reflection, it really actually helps you become more aware of your authentic self. And what I share in the beginning of this mirror is that it's not the doing in life that dictates your worth. Your worth comes from a state of being just who you are. And that's one thing that I've seen over time and have experienced myself in my journey as becoming the total female package that we all have this amazing birthright to experience, is that there's a tendency sometimes to get caught up in the doing of life. But who are you truly being? Like, who are you connecting to? Who are you showing up as every day, as that authentic energy that is just you? Like, there's just one person authentically, uniquely you on the planet in this lifetime. And so finding ways throughout the day and throughout the week to connect to that piece of yourself is another form of deep self-love, self-respect, owning your self-worth, mastering who you are, understanding this personal relationship you have with yourself, that when you can get so succinct in that and connect to that beingness of you, so many things unfold. This is just another magical thing that seems to take place when you're actually showing up in your truth essence as much as possible. And sometimes that can get really distracting or frustrating because you sometimes get caught in the act of doing, and obviously we take action to attract things into our way of being and our way of manifesting, and it's just that like little reset every moment when you're making a decision, or when you have a moment to just be in solitude or by yourself, to go like really recognize your being state and what that feels like. So throughout this mirror, and when you go through it, obviously I've shared this before, it's a workbook. It's something for you to dissect in your own free time. This is a symbol. Total Female Package is a symbol of you loving yourself wholly and giving yourself that presence of capability to fall in love with yourself as much as possible. And so I talk about spirituality from a perspective of not I am open to all beliefs, all religions, all saints, everything in life that people are, attracted to in their journey of what feels right to them to honor in their life. When I speak around spirituality in the Total Female Package, it's really about that inspiration, that spirit that is you. We have obviously this voice and this mind and this way of just understanding who we are, and it's that essence that I believe is your spirit and that I speak to in this mirror. and how spirituality and its meaning for you is around what are the things that you and places and experiences that help you feel at peace when you're in your spirit, when you're in those experiences, when you're in those situations. What are the most places that actually make you feel like you are home with yourself? Like that is the essence. That is part of one of these most fantastic mirrors of the Total Film package, is understanding our truest reflection of our spiritual essence, and knowing that that affects our life on a daily basis. Here I share on page 44, to be in spirit on a daily basis can bring more joy, love, and abundance to your existence. Like, ever go through moments throughout your day when you become more aware of this mirror in your life, where you're doing, you're totally on autopilot, you're like, list of stuff to do, priorities that we're thinking. And then all of a sudden, like, your day is just like kind of, you come home and you're exhausted, and you sit down and you go, did I do anything for myself today? Did I actually even check in with my true being and feel that today? And that's the one thing around understanding this powerful spiritual essence you have, is that when you give yourself that flexibility and that time to be in nature and to be with your highest self. And when I say highest self, like, I'm trying to put this into words so folks who don't practice normally understanding this can grasp what that means. But welcome to the newcomers on the call. But when you are connected to your spiritual self, there is just this complete peace and joy that comes over to you. Because in that moment, when you allow yourself to be there, and Val will have you chime in on your thoughts around this section of the mirror too, is you get a chance to just pause and feel that connection to the totality of the universe. And it's that oneness. I think you may have heard at this point in your life, or maybe it's early on your journey in this conversation, how somewhere around existence, we're all connected, we're all one, we're all created in the image and the likeness of the eternal cosmos, or God, or love, intelligence, and whatever it is you believe. And it's in that moment when you're connected to your spiritual presence that you truly feel at peace. Val, what do you think about this aspect of the Total Fulfillment package?
This mirror particularly is one of my favorites, and I would say probably one of the most impactful, that had me fall in love with the TFP's message when I first read it 27. And that's because I was searching for a spiritual guidance, looking for spiritual guidance in the sense of something that wasn't kind of shoving a religion or God down my throat. Like, I loved Marianne Williamson, but for me at that time, it was just, I couldn't hear God. And so when I came across Total Female Package, and it was just very open in the sense of, your spiritual self is really connecting to yourself and learning how to tune in. And I'm still a doer, and this is still a work in progress. This is still a work in progress, where I have to oh wait, I do have to remember. Am I checking in with myself? Am I giving myself that bath? There's certain non-negotiables that I've created down the line of doing this, that that has me get I guess in touch with me and asking myself, am I okay? Is everything okay? Is everything good? And so specifically for this, awesome short little mirror, it has a powerful punch in the sense of a powerful message in spirituality, and what that can really do to your peace of mind as you go through this thing called life. And when you can honor yourself and give yourself just that little bit of space, it opens up. It's a ripple effect, and opens up what is possible for all the other things in your life that you are either on your road to discovering, or continuously creating and building upon.
Right. Yeah, and I love that because it says wholeheartedly what I remember going through also in my teens and my 20s around understanding why am I who I am? Like, what is this game? Like, what is this whole thing around we're here for 100 years or so, and then we're like gone, like that. Something around that was like, I was like, what is the deeper thing? And I know that many times in different people's journeys, they finally start to ask themselves the question, like, where do we go? Like, what's going on? Like, who are we? Like, when we're no longer in this body, because we say after a certain time our bodies age, they keep us in here on earth for a certain amount of time. And we can go into a whole deeper spiritual talk on another deep dive around this mirror at a later session. But I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. And for those of you who might be new to this, those on the call, I don't think you are, but there is a saying out there that, you know, we're these spiritual beings actually having a human experience. And so when you look at that and you ask yourself more questions, I know personally, the moment I actually started to feel that as a truth and started to kind of feel the energy from different sources around, oh, I'm just, you know, in this lifetime, I look like this and my name's Novelina, but there's something else going on here. And I have deja vu all the time. And I have these visions and I have these crazy, like very memorable dreams where I'm in other worlds. And so just being connected to that, understanding that there's more going on than just this physical existence. And that's the spiritual reflection I'm talking about, like whispers from the universe, like moments when, for whatever reason, you're seeking some answer and you tap in and you tune in and a song plays or someone says the next line in, like, who's walking by you and a stranger on the street, but it's exactly what you were asking for as an answer to a problem you were solving, and you hear it and you go, what did that guy over there, like, that's, yeah, that is the spiritual journey. Those are the signs. Those are the bigger reflections of you being connected to something bigger than just this physical body that makes up who you are internally. And so the idea of this mirror is like to share with you ideas and ways for you to connect more to that essence of who you are on a daily basis, because that in turn creates more peace, more joy, more love in your heart for who you are, higher vibrant energy for when you're out in the world creating your magic moment by moment. And it's even a reminder that when a situation, you know, pops up in your life and you look at it as good or bad, that you could actually change that. You can transmute that when you start to understand the spiritual journey, the spiritual essence of who you are. And you can look at an experience and stop labeling the experience and stop making it mean this or that, and just observe it from like a third party perspective. You go, wow, like this is the learning that's coming from that. This is my higher self now allowing me to look back at this situation and be more connected to, like, what am I asking to evolve into? What is the spiritual growth I'm having in this human physical existence in this moment? And how can I actually be one with the moment instead of trying to resist it or fight it? And that's kind of like a conversation I love to get into with many people when they're navigating through things that you created, because you're the director of your life. And so every moment that comes to you is a direct reflection of the thoughts you're thinking and the things that you're creating. So when you get to understand that about your spiritual nature and understand that you have that same power to alchemize your essence and thoughts and way of being in the world, tuning into your spiritual reflection actually gives you more of the truer part of yourself that you're wanting to experience. So on page 46, when the TFP book shares, when you can step out of your mind, step out of the old ways of labeling situations good or bad, right or wrong, and you can live from a space of what is. You can experience your being in every moment. Like you really like just accepting, forgiving, compassion, empathy, being in love with every moment, understanding that you have the power to create that moment for yourself. That's recognizing your spiritual reflection and being totally totally engulfed in understanding that you have that type of power. So I share here on the final page that some of the ways in which you could try to navigate to connect more to your spiritual reflection are, watch that movie that your dad said he thought you would like, your mom or your dad, say hello to the guy who smiled in just the perfect way to create those little butterflies in your stomach. Dance in the rain when you want to. Pay attention to the experiences you're calling for to happen in your life and receive them with an open heart. Talk to friends and family members about how you're feeling. Be vulnerable. Live from a constant space of learning and growth, knowing there's so much more for you to get to know about yourself. Be gratified with the understanding you will constantly be evolving into a more complete you with greater capacity to feel and love as time passes. Connecting to your spiritual reflection takes simple, ordinary moments in life and gives you a new lens to see the extraordinary you. And that's absolutely what I abide by. Like, every moment is unique. Every moment is a chance, an opportunity to love yourself deeper, to love the people in your life deeper, and to have empathy and compassion for this journey that you're on. And so part of rising the TFP within you is just really honoring the fact that you have a spiritual side to you. You have a inspirational side to you. Inspire means to be in spirit. And so what are the things in your life that inspire you? What things get you into that place of being in your spirit, in your authentic self? And so these are just more tools to have you have a deeper understanding of this. One of the practices that I've done several times over and continue to do that I share at the back of this mirror is just to find like one inspiring place in your life locally that is either driving distance or walking distance, that whenever you need to kind of move energy through in your system, it's a place where you go to like actually feel yourself. It's a place where you go to connect. It's a reconnect. It's a place you go to forgive. For me, when I was growing up, it was Half Moon Bay, this beach that was like 20 miles from my house. And I drive out there with girlfriends during high school. And it was like this secret beach you drive to and you have to walk down the side of a cliff. And it just felt so isolated and secret that it was special to us. And I remember whenever we thought we were going through the most boy crazy, heart wide breaking moment in our life, we'd drive out there, all of us girls, and we'd sit in the sand and we would like pour our emotions and be vulnerable with each other out into the ocean. And we just sat there and we would like just watch like all the waves coming to us for hours and like the vastness of this beach. And it was such a great reminder that we're such this beautiful piece of this bigger thing, this bigger space called life. And when you appreciate your reflection in life and you see that you're a piece of the whole, that you're connected, it gives you the grace to love yourself in small moments that are very small. Like every single moment we're taking a step, every single moment we're breathing, every single moment we get to be on a call with amazing women talking about how we can find ways to love ourselves more and build our self-worth and build our confidence and build our leadership as a feminine creature on this planet in this way, then, we should be grateful for that. And we should find a way to like tap into that on a regular basis. So like, that's the energy we're putting out into our space, our ecosystem, and that's rippling over the planet. And so that's what Mirror 4 is all about, connecting to your spiritual reflection. And so if anybody on the call right now would love to share their thoughts or impressions or anything for them that feels like their truth to share, I welcome the opportunity. Or if you have any questions, I'm here. Valerie's here as well. I love this. I just looked up and I just read, it says, Julia's effing awesome. Yes, you are. Magical woman, you are over there. Looks like we've got a very clear understanding of spiritual reflection.
Wait. Oh, it's me.
Okay.
Sorry. I was just I was eating, so I was like, oh, I gotta shut my face off.
Oh, that's okay.
So back to the spiritual. I just put my camera on. The spiritual part of it, and I think it's something so important that we need to really tap into. And I made a video about compassion and how to be more compassionate to one another, and to really embrace that greatness that we all of us have. So to truly come from a place of love and compassion and wholeness is the way to be. Truly. So I just wanted to say that I'm learning how to be more compassionate towards one another, and especially with people that are not holding a space, and to truly come from a place of wholeness.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love that. And what you just shared, Jelana, reminded me too of the piece on vulnerability. Like I find, we're all on this planet having this experience together. And the key to me in life, although you can create abundance of things in your life with manifestation and bring things into form, to me, like the essence of why we're all here is to be in relationship with each other. And in understanding that we all have perspectives and layers of who we are and who we show up in beliefs and different programming and environments we were brought up into. And so I find that no matter what walk of life you're from, man, female, born in Africa, born in the US, and I've been through several different types of connections, relationships, mastermind alliances, things of that nature in the last 20 years. I find that when you are super vulnerable with another person, if you've had a misunderstanding or there's a share that you want to have, and if you just and to me, vulnerability is like that connection to your essence, because you're like, this is my true self. Like, this is something that like is scary for me to share, but I'm going to be vulnerable with you. Is that okay? It's like the moment you share that, no matter who you're with, like I have seen hard, aggressive, alpha male type men to really shy women. Like, it's like the moment you like come from that space of vulnerability, which is like your total presence of who you are, it's like all of the walls come down and that other person's spirit goes, oh, great, vulnerability. They're going to be real with me. And it's like this like little key around honoring your reflection. And so when you're talking about compassion and empathy, and when you're having and navigating conversations and you really want to connect and understand where someone's coming from, connecting to someone's other spiritual reflection is so key, because then you can have like a really authentic conversation and a coming together. And so I find when you can be vulnerable and be your spiritual self with someone, so many different ways of being in relationship with that individual open up. That creates such a strong foundation for things you guys are co-creating in this moment or in future moments. So yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's been a great, it's been a real eye-opener and a real share, because I feel like there's so many of us who are running around the planet really just wanting to be accepted and liked, and some of us who know that if we love ourselves 100% and have our own self-worth, that we're good no matter what other people outside of us think about us. But there is that childlike innocence that we all are on deep inside that wants to play with our friends and wants to play nice, and I find that when you break down all the layers and the walls and just come from a place of vulnerability, which is really like your truest spiritual essence, then you can create anything with anybody if you truly like feel connected to that person.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay. So unless anyone has anything else to share, I think that this is a short mirror, connecting your spiritual reflection. There is so many more things around this mirror for us to dive into, and we will do that eventually. But for this first 13-week journey, really wanting to get the simplicity of each mirror out and then have a deep dive of a book club at some point in the near future that actually I'll go into like charts and diagrams and the science of love and all of the things that we're speaking about that take us to a deeper understanding of actually how to alchemize and how to work with your spirit on a regular basis to actually manifest the forms and really show you what it means to just be in manifestation instead of do. And not that there's not the do. There is the do, but it's less do than we think it has to be. And so, and that's because we're all Harry Potters at heart, and we have these magic wands and abracadabra, affirmation type shares and what I call clarity and deliberate purpose that we can really focus on that gets us exactly what we're wanting to create and bring into form. So those will be coming, and we'll be sharing those videos with the whole forum and the whole membership site at some point in the near future. But for this mirror, it's all around connecting your spiritual reflection. And one of the easiest ways I find for most people to do that is just to go sit in nature, go sit at the beach, watch the waves, be in sand, go to a meditation garden, put your hands on trees, pick up a flower, stare at it. It's like probably people will think, oh, that's so cheesy. But like, no, seriously, I've done this. I've spent time like with flowers. I've spent time with plants. I've spent time with candle flames at night. I spent time in the solitude and the peace and the quiet where all the other thoughts and distractions are out of my space. And I've just allowed myself to be a lot. Like I've practiced this many, many times over and over. And I tell you, in that space and that clarity and that being is when like your most precious manifestations take place, because there's no energetic disruption in the field. It's you being 100% in tune with what your spiritual calling is in that moment to experience and create. And so there's so many ways to have fun with your higher self once you understand that you do have a higher self and that there is this other essence to you that's not just this physical body or this mind. Really, the mind's not so much really running the show. And I've learned that in different ways around how our spiritual essence is really running the show. So thank you for joining us this week. Next week, we have Mirror 5, which is reflecting conscious health. And I'm actually really excited about that because conscious health has to do a lot with Juliana and your focus and what you're so amazing at. And it taps into the health of your mind, your spirit, your body, the words you speak, your thinking, the things that you put in your body to digest, how harmonic they are with like the other essence of our natural self, the things that align with your DNA. So conscious health is a huge conversation and a really fun topic to get into. Body image, everything around conscious health is definitely landing on women around how to really, really connect to their power of rising the TFP within them. Because it's all about that inner beauty that then ripples out into their outer beauty in the present. So looking forward to seeing all of you beauties next week. And thank you for joining us today. Have a very, very, very lovely evening. Ciao for now.
Bye.
Ciao.